it was me, 7 in the morning, standing over my balcony for the last time, watching the final sunrise for the last time in my dream condo that I manifested. And I remember thinking there could be a lot of things that I say I would do differently to take back the time or appreciate things a little bit more. But I'll be honest, that was such a developmental time for myself. And the one thing that I had to come to terms with is that I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing because the pressure that I felt, every wrong turn, every time where I didn't see the end in sight and I wanted to walk away from it all, I realized that pressure built the diamond that I am today, because it was like I was drowning myself at points, right? You know, when you're healing and things don't get so pretty because you gotta let out those emotions, those tough ones. I realized that I had to experience a lot of that in order to get where I am today, because a lot of that emotional baggage that I was holding on to, it had to go. And people would say, oh, with this view, I would never be sad. And I'm here to let you know it doesn't matter what the material things it is that you have. If you're not right within, none of those things will make you feel full, right? So I remember those moments where I felt empty in this beautiful space. And I said I wouldn't change a thing. Everything that happened had to happen in order for me to wake up the way that I did. Because see, it was one day when I woke up, I took my first breath. You ever feel like, imagine this with me, right? You're in the water, and all of a sudden you just feel this pressure just pushing you underwater where you feel like you can't breathe. You're panicking, you're frustrated, you're heartbroken, you're scared. Those things were happening. And I felt like I was under this water, right? Being forced down. But one day I just came out of that state, and it was like taking this large, deep gasp for air where your chest is like going up and it's going down. And you're literally like, oh my goodness, I can breathe again. I found my way back to the top of the water. Like I didn't sink to the bottom. I'm okay. I'm alive. That moment, and you begin to start taking those breaths and things begin to get good. And you're like, you know what? It was all worth it, because you came out of that fire, or not even fire. You came out of that water a completely different person. And because of that, what stands before you is like a jewel that washed ashore. And it's like, you know what? All of this, I wouldn't change a thing. And I had that realization, and I want you to have that realization too. So I say this to say to you, things are going to change around you. But don't go back and say, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I could have done this more. We'll always have those moments because we'll always want more. But when you look back, say, you know what? I'm grateful for all the lessons, the blessings, the way that I'm able to divinely walk into my purpose, and all these pain points, all of these things, they had to happen for me to realize that there's a power in me. Because see, some of those times where I was feeling down and low, it was because I couldn't see beyond my own two eyes of how things would actually work out. I was trying to see with my own two eyes instead of the eye that God gave me, the covenant, the I am, and learning how to powerfully leverage that to speak life into you over your blessings, to eliminate any doubt, right? I wasn't using that to be led and fed the way. But when I emerged from that water, that space, I was able to have that first gasp of air a vision of like, okay, God, you right. This is bigger than me, and you have to go forth, prepare the path for me to walk effortlessly. And I didn't come out of the water the same way. So I'm telling you right now, if you're submerged under that water still, this is a beautiful space to be in right now, because right now you can admit it. Right now you can admit that this was a time that things were kind of crazy for me. And I realized that I'm submerged. But now that I can acknowledge it, I can do something about it. Because you know what I realized? The only person that was keeping me submerged and panicking and sinking was my own mindset. So what I realized is that I had to release control and understand that everything on my path that's going to be laid out, it's going to uncover itself, and allow it to uncover itself. Don't get too hyped and too excited to a point where you're thinking about how exactly you want it to go. Get excited about the outcome, how you're going to feel about the outcome. What you're going to, imagine these people celebrating you, the people close to you that you love celebrating you in that in that milestone, not even destination, because see, this is a journey, not a race. This is a marathon. So you're going to have those different milestones where you're getting celebrated as you continue pressing on. So imagine those points, but let the how be out of your control. I promise you, it is such a beautiful space when you can say, you know what? A lot of things around me are still uncertain, and I just don't know the how. But it's not up for my own two humanly, fleshly eyes to be able to see that. This is bigger than me. Something has to go before me and carve the way, prepare so that when I come through, I'm walking effortlessly. And I'm surprised. Fall in love with surprises. Fall in love with change. Fall in love with saying, you know what? Oh, I don't know what's coming to me. But, it feels so good. And I know it's big. Speak life over that. Ask God to show you, how do I prepare? Your focus should be excited about the ending and how everyone's going to be excited for you. You're going to manifest how everybody's going to be excited for you. And then you're going to prepare yourself for whatever. And I mean it like this. When I wanted to manifest this condo that I'm still standing in, recording this tape in on my last day living here, I got into the spirit. I did an Airbnb of this whole entire place and said, you know what? Yeah, I could see myself here. I created a vision board. I took pictures and I made it real of me sitting in certain rooms. And by doing that, I said, okay, I would like my home to feel like this. So I started putting things in the Amazon cart, and I started doing what they call in one of my favorite books, The Game of Life and How to Play It, is dig your ditches. If you say you want this home that you want, show me, prove it to me that you actually ready for what you say you're ready for. Okay, so I start buying little things on Amazon to show, yeah, I know I got faith. When they say faith without works is dead, that's exactly what they mean. Faith without works is dead. Not figuring out the entire process, because there's things up ahead that you don't even see yet, that you can't get to yet until you're ready and divine timing. So I say this to you. If you want to submerge and get out of that water, if you want, not even submerge, emerge out of that funk, start working on your mindset. Look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? These are the things that I want to work on. Don't even criticize yourself. These are the things that I want to work on. Don't say, oh, you do this wrong. And no. We're going to reverse that, right? Here's the things that I want to work on. And by working on these things, I'm going to be able to fine tune my mind. And it's something you got to do every day. It is a choice and a decision to remain calm and be centered in the midst of chaos. If you got to go along and you got to feel the speed bumps of the road and the unevenness and sometimes the shakiness and uncertainness, if you got to feel that anyway, why not be peaceful with a smile on your face while experiencing that? Challenges and character building moments do not necessarily mean that you have to suffer. No, it's all about perspective. Shift your perspective from, why is this happening to me, to, what is this meant to teach me? What was this meant to send me? How can I grow from this? And by asking those questions, you begin to develop your path, and you begin to unfold the different resources, because you're showing a sign of emotional maturity. You're finding a way to overcome these challenges by intentionally choosing to be peaceful in the midst of uncertainty, of chaos, of sadness, of heartbreak. These are the things that matter. Make that conscious decision every morning to find something meditational that works for you to clear your mind, whether that's sitting down, whether that's dancing, whatever it takes for you to unwind that mind. Because you got to have, in order to get your blessings, it's got to come over calm sea. But you got to have that calm spirit to be able to make clear and sound decisions. And then once you make a decision, you stand on that. There's no going back and forth. You made that decision. You stand on it. You start to prepare for it. Stop asking I don't know how it's going to work. Oh my God, how? And stressing yourself out trying to figure it out. No, just say, I want to experience this. Cultivate that experience. What do you want to feel? Because we can attract anything, but we entertain where we are vibrationally. Choose to shift your vibration to a different energy that allows you to tap in, plug in, and be what you need to be in order to have your blessings come to you. And once you can visualize it, once you get down to the nitty gritty of the preparation and how can you be that person that's worthy of that, what do you have to say? What do you have to think? How do we have to feel in order to have that blessing? What do we see it looking like on the other side? We got to see those things. And once you see those things, you release it and have a knowing, a delusional knowing that everything is always going to work out for your highest good. Because when we, kind of veer off on our path, we get pulled back to the purpose of why we're here. I love you. Be gentle with yourself and take action immediately.